What if your family reunion was a trap? In Mayfair Witches Season 2, Episode 3, Cover the Mirrors, betrayal is on the menu and survival is not guaranteed. We're about to expose the shocking secrets, the power grabs, and the explosive ending that you won't believe. Forget what you think you know. Everything is about to change. Ready to have your mind blown? Stick around and we'll break down why this episode is the most jaw-dropping yet. This episode of Mayfair Witches isn't just about family. It's about the fragility of trust, the weight of responsibility, and the seductive nature of power. Cover the Mirrors delves into the complex web of the Mayfair family, where loyalties are constantly tested and danger lurks around every corner. Rowan's attempt to protect her family using a ruse sets the stage for a masterclass in manipulation. And double dealing, blurring the lines between savior and suspect. As we move forward, get ready to unravel a plot riddled with unexpected twists and hidden agendas that make this episode an absolute must-watch. The episode opens with a pivotal moment for Lasher, as he encounters Felix, a vampire from Interview with the vampire. This encounter isn't just a simple meetup, it's a turning point where Felix encourages Lasher to discard his human-like empathy, fully embracing his supernatural essence. Felix's advice serves to solidify Lasher's resolve, to be a menacing figure, making his actions more intentional, dangerous, and setting the tone for what's to come. This change of heart immediately impacts his interaction with the world, giving us a glimpse into a dark character transformation. In the meantime, the Mayfair family is under threat, marked by 3 sudden deaths within the family. These incidents cause alarm among the family, leading Rowan, a young witch carrying a heavy burden of her ancestry, to intervene to stop this cycle of mysterious death, driven by the urgency to protect her own and prevent any more deaths within her powerful yet troubled family. Rowan takes matters into her own hands. To confront the rising dangers, she devises a high-risk plan, summoning the entire Mayfair clan. Using a family get-together under the guise of a protection spell, it aims to entrap their hidden predator. Unbeknownst to most, Rowan's protection spell is not meant to shield anyone, but rather bait and use her family and her collective family aroma as bait to attract the hidden killer stalking their family. Her idea puts everyone in danger, but that is the price Rowan seems willing to pay, a hard price, considering her plans include trapping Lasher for good, possibly even killing him. To make this family gathering less suspicious and more enticing, the family needs some sort of motivation beyond fear and blood. It comes to play Cortland, who sees in this family union an opportunity for more than simply family protection, and also as a way to finally make himself respected among them. Cortland knows how to appeal to his family using both open bar and a charismatic pitch. He promotes the reunion by implying they can finally interact with Lasher, an enigmatic and often revered figure amongst the Mayfair family. This is an attempt to attract Mayfair members. They view Lasher not as the demon he is, but as some sort of messiah figure. But Cortland knows Lasher will likely come regardless, given his strong pull towards all Mayfair family members. As such, for most people inside the Mayfair family, Cortland appears as a manipulative man, which he is, and most of them distrust both Cortland and, recently, Rowan, who was once perceived as one of them, and that distrust makes the situation even more unstable than expected. As the Mayfair family members start to gather, the atmosphere is a cocktail of forced pleasantries and simmering tension. Invitations have gone out, and with promises of a protection spell, free-flowing drinks, and past hors d'oeuvres, the family starts to show up. But the real hook to get their attendance is the assurance of a personal meet and greet with the messianic Lasher for most of the family. Many do not want to participate in another one of Rowan's ploys, but the curiosity of finally interacting with the Mayfair demons seems to lure people. Everyone gets the message about attendance, even though the underlying purpose is mostly unknown by the attendees themselves. They know they need to attend if they don't want problems, especially coming from their mysterious cousin, who may seem young and naive, but wields tremendous magical powers. Among those present, many hold reservations regarding both Cortland and Rowan's motives. For some time now, both have been considered manipulative by members of their own family, and these perceptions create significant distrust, as members can't stop considering hidden meanings. They are gathering and drinking, but the environment is everything but joyous, creating the image of a family union ready to crumble any second due to their bad connections. On the one hand, Cortland has always been manipulative, self-centered, and disgusting in general, which creates resentment from several cousins and other family members. But the resentment to Rowan has become noticeable for different reasons. Ever since the return of Lasher, Rowan seems more obsessed, unpredictable, and dangerous as a person, something that unsettles the rest of her kin, because that could make Rowan not someone they can actually depend on. They are wary of what plans both could be making, behind everyone's back. To make matters worse, most people present do not want to be there, creating further tension, which translates to a collective desire of rebellion. This is made particularly evident in the case of Moira. She clearly does not trust Rowan or her goals. Instead, she sees this whole event as another move from her unpredictable cousin to assert herself, and because of that, it's only due to outside pressure imposed by Talamasca's representative Albrecht Escher she's actually attending. That leaves another problematic situation, as the enigmatic Evelyn remains a no-show, creating suspicion. She's nowhere to be found. Dolly Jean, despite repeated texts and calls, finds herself ignored and with no apparent justification, increasing discomfort to everyone. And this will end up creating further problems. While the Mayfair family tries to make sense of this gathering, a strange encounter unfolds. Lasher decides to visit Evelyn's bar. It is unclear what his true motives are at first. The place is usually quiet, mostly inhabited by local regulars. Lasher arrives and behaves unusually, requesting repeated servings of milk, which further heightens Evelyn's discomfort. However, she remains collected even through the odd requests from Lasher. Evelyn remains unfazed, in direct opposition to Lasher's past interactions with women, where they've fallen into a hypnotic and somewhat sexual relationship with the demon. Evelyn seems completely immune to Lasher's charm or seduction, giving the idea that his powers can't be used against everybody, creating yet another puzzle around his presence. Perhaps that's because his presence was starting to create an environment of escalating aggression, creating a palpable sense of unease as she rebuffs Lasher's advances, refusing to give in to any kind of submission or bewitchment. Then, as if proving his dangerous intent, Lasher tries to impose himself physically, starting a small fight. When Lasher escalates into a violent attitude and attempts to strangle Evelyn's son, the bar's harmony is broken, and so it appears Rowan's plan, as it becomes even more urgent that Evelyn must be removed from any contact with Lasher and Cortland's antics. And for that, Rowan sends Alonzo with the excuse that Cortland is nowhere nearby. He takes her to the reunion after lying to her. Back at the Mayfair family gathering, things are about to explode. Despite Cortland's efforts to assure everyone that Lasher would make an appearance for a cordial gathering, most guests remain restless and agitated. Then, the fragile balance Rowan works so hard to keep breaks when Moira makes a striking claim. Defying any attempt for composure, and driven by her complete distrust, Moira boldly announces, to everyone's surprise, that Lasher isn't even here. This pronouncement brings Rowan's web of lies to light, raising questions about her credibility to lead the family and creating total chaos and an environment of instability. Moira seems more eager to denounce her cousin's schemes to everyone present, creating more issues for everyone as Rowan now needs to deal with the situation and address everyone with an explanation, creating the urgent need for the truth to be finally revealed despite all her plans to use them all. She pulls Moira aside to let her in on the secrets that, until this moment, only very few people were aware. She reveals all the true extent of what's happening, but she emphasizes that Moira should not share her plans with Sip or anyone in the Talamasca organization, as they would mess things up further, undermining the delicate situation she's currently facing. Now things become more chaotic and fragile, leading Rowan to reveal her full intentions. So, after the unveiling, Rowan decides to come clean with her relatives. She shares with everyone the truth about Lasher. Initially, the response isn't as hostile as expected, but as little Daphne expresses her hurt feelings, JoJo attempts to intervene in an already problematic conversation with her. During a conflict where she attempts to keep Daphne from leaving and taking JoJo together, Rowan accidentally activates her magical power, and the power unintentionally entraps both Daphne and JoJo in a magical thrall, showcasing a complete breakdown of her composure and leadership as a whole. And as if things couldn't get worse, the situation reaches an apex with the Talamasca suddenly showing up at the Mayfair residence. Rowan witnesses her plan coming into ruin, making her desperate. As Lasher finally appears in the middle of the chaos, chaos escalates. Just as Rowan was preparing herself to execute the most crucial part of her strategy against the Mayfair demon, her last card gets cancelled. As a Talamasca agent steps in, using the specialized smog device that's meant to neutralize Lasher, Rowan makes a split-second decision. Jumping to shield Lasher, she takes the blast herself and collapsing, immediately allowing for the Talamasca to take the unconscious demon into custody with several vehicles outside their home, making this entire plan look rushed and unprofessional as an intervention, as it creates more unanswered questions about why so many forces suddenly wanted a part in this event. The chaotic climax of the episode centers around Lasher's capture by the Talamasca, though it's far from being straightforward. The Talamasca's arrival disrupts Rowan's strategy, making her interference even more dramatic and consequential as she takes the blow for him instead. Instead of capturing the demon as planned and probably killing him or keeping him in captivity, Rowan decides to save him from capture from Talamasca. By absorbing the smog blast, Rowan is knocked out but still allowed for the agency to arrest the demon, something that shows a complete rupture in communication with everyone in a delicate situation. This interference in Lasher's apprehension represents more than a setback to a complex operation that aimed to both protect the Mayfair members and trap their evil demon. But Rowan has an unknown agenda that will change the course of everything they knew until now. Everything crumbles completely as each player of the board reveal unexpected agendas that creates a fragile structure among all players involved. Rowan's initial attempt to create a family pact has completely crumbled due to deception, with all kinds of betrayals happening everywhere, and all the time. As Lasher gets removed and Rowan is taken to an undisclosed location by someone, most of the Mayfair family remain uncertain of everything. How everything will unravel now is still a mystery. Several questions remain. What exactly does Talamasca want from Lasher, and why did Sip show up during the situation, even when it was clearly told by Rowan to Moira that she shouldn't contact Sip or his group? Where did Rowan's impulsivity and hidden intention come from? Why was Moira's role important in a world of distrust and backstabbing between everyone? And why does Cortland want so much power, and how could his interference in this situation potentially play against the rest of his family? Who is the person that has control over Rowan? There are also smaller, yet intriguing plots like, what is the goal behind that vampire character Felix and the actions of Albrecht, also Talamasca, to manipulate Moira into sabotaging a plan from the only Mayfair family member who clearly shows actual supernatural powers? With Lasher in custody, for now, and the future looking more complex than it seemed to be in the beginning, we see clearly that this was a story where many characters are hiding several agendas behind masks, and those agendas can greatly damage the Mayfair Coven. This ending leaves the audience with more questions than answers, which further cements the mysterious aspect that revolves around Lasher and the multiple groups trying to take power using whatever they can. So, the Mayfair family. Reunion was a complete disaster, right? Betrayal at every turn, hidden agendas, and that ending. What do you even make of it? Is Rowan losing it, or is there a bigger game afoot? Who is manipulating whom? Let me know in the comments below your theories. Now, if you want to stay ahead of the curve, hit that subscribe button, enable all notifications to catch my next upload, and give this video a thumbs up if you found it interesting. Let's keep talking. See you in the next recap.